in the name of humanitarian relief. When we got people here, man, that is just in horrible condition. But let's go to Brother Sean Muhammad, man, on a subject that, oh my God. Brother Sean, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, family. How are you, sir?
Oh man, I'm okay, brother. Thank you for coming. You know, brother, I really thank you for coming on, because and we're about to talk now, brothers and sisters, about a young black woman, not even a young black woman, a black teenager, raped, sex trafficked, and now she's being sent to prison for 11 years because she's sought to escape from the white man that was pimping her, that sexually abused her, trafficked her out to other men. And this is our sister Chrystul Kizer. This story is now at least 6 or 7 years old, brothers and sisters. When it first kind of emerged, when the thing happened with George Floyd, it got some attention. It has now wound its way through the court system. Our sister essentially pleaded guilty to basically kind of a manslaughter charge, and they have now sentenced this young woman to 11 years. So, Brother Sean, tell us a little bit about yourself, because you're in Milwaukee and you work in this field. Talk a little bit about the work that you do.
Absolutely. Well, once again, assalamu alaikum to you, Brother Naba, Brother James, Brother BJ, and your listening audience. I just want to say, man, I'm very humbled and honored to be on your platform. And you are a brother that I've always looked up to, and I appreciate the work that you do and the service that you've done in the Nation of Islam with the mighty Final Call newspaper. And, you know, brother, and also I know that you just had a birth anniversary as well, so I want to wish you a happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, absolutely, brother. But yes, sir. So, Sean Muhammad, I've been working in the field of intimate partner violence, which is domestic violence, sex trafficking, sexual abuse, really anti-violence towards women, and in particular black women. I'm a director at an agency called the Asha Project. So the Asha Project is a non-traditional anti-violence agency that deals in the protection of women and children as well. But it's non-traditional because we have a culturally specific service delivery, meaning that our services are made for black people. We're non-traditional in the sense that most of the agencies that are domestic violence agencies, they just have a focus on victims, which is good, but we have a holistic approach. So we believe that it's more essential to deal with the perpetrators as well as the victims, because in my experience, the majority of the victims return to their abusers. So a woman going back to an abuser, she's getting teachings from us, she's getting help from us, she's getting safety plans from us, but then we send her back to the perpetrator and he's got nothing. You know, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So that's how the Asha Project works. But I've been working on going into my 26th year, and I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. And to me, it's an easy marriage being a follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You know, I just look at it as this is a way for me to extend our ministry. So yes, sir. You know, that's a little bit about me. And, the tragedy of Chrystul Kizer, oh, man, it really screams that white lives matter. When we have a young woman that was trafficked by a white pimp, a scum of a human being, too. His name was Randy Volar. And he preyed on underage black girls. I mean, he was a pimp. He videotaped sex acts with his victims. I mean, this demon not only had child porn in his home when the authorities raided his home, but he had child porn that he made. He had his own child porn. Now, imagine if that was you and I. So, and the police even admit that they found at least a dozen other victims, in addition to Chrystul.
Wow.
I mean, he broke. Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, I just want to back up and fill in a little bit of the blanks.
Yes, sir.
Chrystul was 17.
Yes, she was 17 and she was arrested.
And yeah, she was charged as an adult. But there's supposed to be a theory of law and law that says if a sex abuse, sex trafficking, rape victim basically commits a crime to stop the victimization, then that's just cause.
Absolutely.
For her not being punished, right? But let me say this. Let me say this, right? I'm just going to read this because it's from my editorial.
Okay.
A 2019 Washington Post investigation showed that Kenosha Police Department knew Volar was abusing underage girls for nearly 3 months before his death.
Yes,
After
sir.
a 15-year-old girl fled from his home in nothing but a bra and jacket. That's not Chrystul now, y'all.
Right.
Just a whole other victim, 15-year-old, fled this man's home in a bra and jacket. Police raided Volar's residence and found hundreds. Did you hear what I said? Hundreds. Not 5, 10, 100.
Yes, sir.
Of videos of child sex abuse. Among the stash were videos Volar made of Kizer and girls who appeared to be as young as 12. But while the investigation continued, police and prosecutors allowed Volar to remain free. So here you got somebody, hundreds of video victims, but see, you're talking young black girls, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it was okay with them. Now she lived in Milwaukee.
Yes, sir.
This pimp would either pick her up or have her take an Uber from Milwaukee, where she lived, he lived.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Brother Don. You can pick it up from there.
Okay, yes, sir. So he was arrested on February 22nd, 2018, right? So they arrested him, child enticement, sexual assault, using his computer to facilitate child sex crime. And they let him out without bail. He didn't have a bond, I should say. They just let him go. Do you think that they would let us go? They let this man go. No bond.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, and then, subsequently, he, they didn't administer his charges until May 24th. Right? And that was 12 days before his death. So really, the authorities have to take some accountability that he wouldn't even been dead if they had did what they were supposed to do. So they let this man out. He has at least a dozen victims, right? Now, so then he reaches out to Chrystul. Chrystul goes to see him. He sexually assaults her. And in the process of doing that, she fights back because she's tired of it. So she had a gun. He was straddled over her. He straddled her. And he was trying to remove her pants and rape her. And she shot him. and she killed him. You know, so but it's so many layers to this family. Like even with them investigating this man after his death, do you know that they found that he had $800,000 in the bank?
Wow.
With no visible means of income? Think about that. So, and his account would fluctuate, so he would go over $1 million. He had over $1 million in the bank before, with no job. No visible means of income at all.
Did he live in the hood? What was the community that he lived in?
Well, so he lived up in Kenosha. He lived in a nice community, I guess you could say a middle-class community.
Middle-class.
But a little bit about Kenosha. I think it's important that I point out that this is where Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So Kyle Rittenhouse can be acquitted for shooting 3 people and killing 2 of them. And not only was he acquitted, but he got a chance to go to Mar-a-Lago with the president and hang out after he got acquitted. This is the type of thing that's going on in Kenosha, So they believe in self-defense when you defending white life, but they don't believe in self-defense if you defending your black life. You feel me on that?
Yeah. Yes,
so
sir.
Yes, sir. And in Wisconsin, so in Wisconsin, let's say 6% of our population is black. But we make up 42 to 45% of the prison population. This is what's going on in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin is a hub for sex trafficking. But, hey, man, this whole thing just screams white lives matter, brother.
It does.
Absolutely, brother.
It really does.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to say this, too. And you can read my editorial at finalcall.com. So, brothers and sisters, not only was this young woman who had suffered other trauma as well, she got into the sex thing because she was trying to get snacks for school and trying to get food for other children, her siblings.
Her brothers and sisters, yes, sir.
And she was told by older girls, this is the way you can make a little money. And so she ended up there. But prosecutors called her guilty, said she was guilty of premeditated murder. They called her greedy, impulsive, and untrustworthy.
Yes, sir.
And so to me, brothers and sisters, this is something that we as a community should be involved in. Brother Sean, I know that this thing is, this sentencing came down August 19th. Do you know if anybody is organizing around her case to try to get this thing overturned somehow?
Yes, sir. So, the Asha Project, which is the agency that I am a director at, so we are part of the Coalition Against Domestic Violence. So the Coalition Against Domestic Violence is really called in Domestic Abuse Wisconsin. So those of us who want to help, those of us who want to be a part of the organizing and the protests, all you have to do, you can go to In Domestic Abuse, it's abbreviated Wisconsin, so In Domestic Abuse, WI.org. And, you can reach out there. There'll be tabs there where you can support financially. You can find out when protests are going to be. That's going to be the hub for all of the information for all things Chrystul. And that's in domesticabuse.wi.org. And you also can find out information from AshaFamilyServices.org as well. And Asha is
Hey, is there a legal approach to it as well? I hear you say about the protest, but is there like lawyers involved trying to develop a strategy on how to go about appealing this?
You know what? So that I know of, no. I don't have the actual facts on if her lawyers are have a legal defense strategy that they're going now. You know, but I do want to speak to what Brother Naba was saying earlier about the self-defense piece. You know, in Wisconsin, we actually have something that's called the affirmative defense, right? And in the affirmative defense, like sex trafficking victims, their crimes, if they're directly or unique to their status as a trafficking victim, then that falls under that purview, and crimes are thrown out. That's taken into consideration with their cases. But it's been my experience that only works with immigrant victims and white victims. Mm-hmm. Black victims are prosecuted and criminalized. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, even under the purview of the law, it's open and shut as the Chrystul Kizer case. But it still didn't work for her. And we know why it didn't work.
Yeah. As far as, and a couple of quick questions, and I don't know if I'm correct on this, but I thought I read where they were trying to tie her motivation to stealing his car or something to that effect as the reason for her to be charged with murder. So, two questions I have. Number one is, since this was committed when she was like 16 or 17, do you think it had any impact? Because when you wait 5, 6, 7 years, she appears older. She's, looking at her, she may not look like a little girl that was raped, but as an older woman who might have had other motives to do that. Do you think? And I don't know what the jury or if it was a bench trial or whatever. I know she pled. So, but do you think that was part of the reason they wanted to go after more harsher persecution? Because instead of looking at a 17-year-old girl in the courtroom, they're looking at more of a 20-something-year-old woman going on being a woman, and that kind of influenced their prejudice against her. So that's a question I thought I wanted to get an opinion from you.
No, sir.
You know?
No, I don't believe that at all. I believe that she could have walked in there as a 12-year-old, and they would have wanted to try her as an
like
adult.
They did in Mississippi. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like they did in Mississippi. Yeah.
Right. We living in a society where there's an illusion of ethics, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So certain things work for certain people, but the biggest influence with those people is the color of your skin. So she still looks relatively young to me. I really don't think that was a factor at all.
And then one last quick question. You mentioned that your organization works with perpetrators as well. I was curious as how does that work? Or did I hear that incorrectly?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You did hear it. So we have men's services programs as well as victim services programs as well as children's services programs. But so I am also a facilitator of abuser intervention groups, right? And with my abuser intervention groups, they're culturally specific as well. So we do, not only do I talk about power and control and why women stay in abusive relationships, but I also incorporate the knowledge of yourself as well. I had the men connect with each other. I deal with atonement as well. I deal with empathy as well. And I just incorporate some of the things that Brother Naba can testify to that are also in our study guides. So I extract, overcoming difficulty and the struggle for balance, and I incorporate it in my curriculum when I deal with men who are perpetrators of domestic violence. So yes, I deal with the abuser as well as the victims because, I've been taught by a man, and I follow a man that believes that anybody can be redeemed. So if I don't believe in behavior change, what am I doing? You know, I know that man inside that man is God. You know, and as long as I find that God in there and I continue to tug on it, I can jumpstart the process of resurrection with him. And once I do that, you know, he's a changed man. You feel me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we don't believe in throwing away anybody. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We got Brother Sean Muhammad on the line, brothers and sisters. We're talking about the sentence that came down, Chrystul Kizer, given an 11-year sentence for killing her sex traffickers, drawing outrage around the country. So, Brother Sean, what do you think about the response from the men? Did her father or any male member of the family, or how did the men respond to this case?
You know what? I didn't deal with any of the men in her family. I did have an opportunity to meet her mother, and the advocates that really worked tirelessly on her case were all women, to be honest. Wasn't a lot of men, you know, and you know, with me, I'm kind of an anomaly in the field of domestic violence, brother. You know, most of the people who work in the field of domestic violence are white women. It's a field that's traditionally ran by white feminists, right? So the Asha Project is really unique in the sense that the woman that founded the Asha Project, she's a black woman and a survivor herself. And a lot of the things that she's implemented, she's done it as a pioneer, and she's done it in such a unique way that sometimes she drew ire from her colleagues. Us having a culturally specific focus and a culturally specific service delivery, you know, many of the traditional agencies were like, hey, we believe that one size fits all. But as black people in America, you know that it's a certain, just like in the Nation of Islam, it's a specific way that we deal with our people, right? And our way that we go after our people is tailor-made for the black man and woman in North America. And similarly so is our service delivery at the Asha Project. But myself, I'm an anomaly, man, in the field. You know, not only am I, like, if you do see a man sprinkle in somewhere at a conference or something like that, he's probably a white man that's from the LGBTQ community. So when you see Brother Sean coming, I'm a black heterosexual man, and I'm a Muslim. Follow the Honorable Minister. Right. You know, so when they see me, man, I look like, you know, strange. You know, until I open my mouth.
Well, yes, I tell you, Brother Sean, I'm so glad that you are doing the work that you're doing. And we as men, we can't be like white people. Right? So we can't be like, well, we're already taught to protect and defend the black woman.
Yes, sir.
So we get that from the beginning.
Right. Yes, sir.
We cannot, across the board as black men, how do you not see the plight of black women as your plight as a man? Didn't you love your mama? Didn't you love your grandmama? Didn't you love your first girlfriend or your wife? Don't you love your daughter, your niece? So this whole crazy thing, I'm really glad, Brother Sean. I want to share couple statistics. This is from VAW.net. Black women and girls and gender non-conforming people are disproportionately represented as victims/survivors of trafficking.
Yes, sir.
Black women make up 40% of people who have survived sex trafficking. Black youth comprise 51% of all prostitution arrests for those under age 18. Many more than any other racial group. So, brothers and sisters, why are we talking about Chrystul? Because her case is horrendous. And it's an injustice. but it is also a sign. It is a sign. It is indicative of what our girls are going through. Other girls. Think of your niece, your daughter. Think of the little girl live next door to you, man. That sell you Girl Scout cookies. The little girl you see going to school every morning, and she looks so beautiful. You know what I mean? And she just walking, man. She's innocent. So, Brother Sean, I tell you what, as a black heterosexual man, Muslim, talk to me a little bit about what drives you to do what you do, and how did you get started in this field?
Okay. Well, like I was saying, man, in this field, Brother Knob, I'm like a unicorn, man. And I always say, I didn't like go to school for this or anything like that. I have my degree for sure, but I wasn't thinking that I'll be working in the field of domestic violence when I was in school. This work chose me. My mother's a survivor of domestic violence. My father was very abusive, and and I so when I got in the field, I actually got in the field accidentally. Our mosque had a collaborative grant with the Asha Project, and in the collaborative grant, it was a HIV outreach program. So in the HIV outreach program, myself and another brother, we would go and locate individuals who were suspected of having HIV or syphilis as well, and we would refer their partners for treatment. And I had such a large measure of success with that program that the founder of the agency said, well, do you think that you could do my batter's intervention program? And I said, let's see. And I had a large measure of success with the batter's intervention program, which led to me managing the men's services program, which led to me ultimately becoming the director at the agency. And, I have a passion for our people. What the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan put in me, I was able to use that to work in this field. So I just used this to be the field that I worked out in, and I took the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and I made it applicable to the people that I worked with in this field, So, it just happened to work out perfectly, but I swear to God, brother, I did not choose this field. It chose me. And it just happened to fit. And I, one of the things about the woman that founded the agency that I'm in, she always says that if women could have stopped domestic violence, they would have stopped it a long time ago. Like domestic violence, it stops when men say it stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we say it stops, that's when it stops, brother. And I want to be in the vanguard of that call. I want to show them, that what was given to us by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is really what this world is missing. Is really what families are missing. Is really what relationships are missing. So, what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given us and given me, I've been able to take that and use it and put it in the language of the field and make it applicable to people in the field. And they accept it. They do accept it, But one of the things about, followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we able to speak in tongues, So I could take it, and I know sometimes white folks can't take prophetic fire. Right? But I could take it and put it in the way where they can handle it. You feel me? Yeah. Right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, brother, I tell you, the other thing, Brother Sean, and I don't want to get too far off topic.
Mm-hmm.
But in this general, because I really want to keep the focus on Sister Chrystul and her case. And if you could stay in touch with us, brother, we really want to be part of any effort. And if we can help, I don't know, deal with it, because I think this should be drawing outrage nationally, and it's not.
Right.
Because the word hasn't gotten out.
Right.
So if we want, and I think it's such a tragedy how this young woman was victimized. But I think that one of the things that we also have to understand, brothers and sisters, there's entirely too much violence among us, period, as a people.
Yes, sir.
There's entirely too much aggressiveness among us as a people.
Yes, sir.
It's way too much. So even with domestic violence, it doesn't just affect the woman, it affects children, man. My mother, well, they tried to make her a victim of domestic violence, but my mother was fighting back. Maddie Bryant wasn't taking no damn punches. She wasn't taking no damn punches. At worst, it was going to be a fight. At best, she was going to whoop your ass.
Yes,
but
sir.
she was not taking no punches, man. And some others were though. My mother was like, "Shit, you better get that nigga out your house."
Right.
I'm not being, but what it impacted me as a child, and my sibling as a child.
Yeah.
So I guess my point is, when we get involved, and as Muslims, we're taught to be peacemakers. That doesn't mean peace at any cost, but peace because justice has been established.
Absolutely.
So as we deal with domestic violence and sex trafficking and all of that, brothers and sisters, there's more than one victim. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was going to say you are absolutely correct, and my mother shot my father. Like the reason why the Asha Project is successful and we even exist is because black women, and not only black women, but black people, we naturally distrustful systems, right?
Absolutely.
They have not worked in our favor, right? So we're naturally distrustful, and black women victims, they don't look like white victims. When the police come to a black victim, she may be cussing, she may be fighting him when they get there, and she may look like the primary aggressor, right? But the spirit of the black woman is not the same as the spirit of the white woman, right? So a black woman may not even look at herself as a victim. She telling you, I gave it just as good as I got. We just had a fight. You know what I mean? So, but in turn, police officers arrest black women victims. So so it took a woman like Antonia Van, who was the founder of the Asha Project, to say, nah, our victims don't look like your victims, and you are re-victimizing a victim. And you only doing that because of the color of her skin and because you don't understand our culture. Right? So she's been a pioneer in the field, and it's a very good look when she goes where she goes, and it's a black man with her, and not just a black man, it's a black man with a bow tie with her. You know what I mean?
Come on now.
With the Farrakhan part.
Come on now. Come on now.
Yes, sir.
Come on now.
Armed not only with what I learned about domestic violence, but armed with the word of God, brother. So, in every field, in every endeavor, man, it needs to be a FOI up in there.
That's right.
Especially with our sisters out here. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And we got, Brother Sean, one of the stories we have covered this year is a story of an 11-year-old girl in Louisiana who, unless something has changed, she's in, I mean, you can call it youth detention if you want. I call it prison. And they charged this 11-year-old girl. First, they had to charge with murder, right? Because her neighbor, a white man, got killed. Now, they charged her with murder because they were trying to find her 15-year-old brother. And they wanted, and so it was squeezing her to get to him, and they eventually did. But no apology, brother. And they sentenced this girl, even after all of that, they sentenced her for obstruction of justice at 11 years old.
Yeah.
See? At 11 years old.
Hey, brother, no, but did they ever...
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was just going to ask, on a follow-up on that real quickly. Did they ever say what the white boy was doing that caused him to get shot? You know, because that never came out during that case.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he's talking about in Louisiana?
No, Louisiana.
Matter of fact, there's been a gag order imposed by the black judge on that case.
Right.
And I was told there was a gag order imposed after the sentencing, which I've never heard of.
Yeah.
But we probably need to come back and revisit that, because the other question in that case is, what's happening with the 15-year-old brother who's now charged with murder?
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, so I definitely will look into that as well. Do you have a name?
Oh, absolutely. You can go to our Straight Words, straightwords.com, our website. We got the shows up there, and we got some stuff that I've written about it.
Okay, 10-4 will do, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
Y'all want to see if we can get a couple calls in real quick, brother? Yes,
yeah,
sir.
let's go, man.
Let's go to the phone line.
Wait, real quick. Real quick. Brother Sean, information on how people can reach you, then we'll go to the calls.
Okay, they can reach me, phone number they can reach me, 414-252-0075. You can reach me through our website at, AshaFamilyServices.org, and Asha is ASHA, and that's FamilyServices.org, all one word.
All right. Go ahead, BJ.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. All right, let's go take Art again. We got Art, Michael, and Anita holding on. Y'all stand by. You're on WVON on Straight Words. Go ahead, brother Art.
Hey, good evening, brothers. First of all, I applaud any individual who fights for truth and justice in any form and fashion. I always ask the what and what now, and I use that because if we don't come collectively together with a universal community code of conduct and family value system, it is very difficult to fight the system when we are not working collectively. All the leaders and teachers and potentators and all the 501k organizations to come behind brothers and sisters in situations like this that occur, just like when the Jewish people are attacked or someone does something to their group or individual, their entire team, which is the Jewish people, which is the family, comes against that entity or individual, and this is why they get the justice that they want, and they don't tolerate it. Until we operate from that perspective and put the family has to be first, not the black woman, not the black man. It has to be the black family, which is the black man, black woman, and black children. And until we start talking family, we stopped at the Million Family March. We did not put the proper energy and the necessary nutrition in that and make family popular. They will always be able to conquer us individually, but they cannot conquer us if we work as a family. And what now, black people?
All right, thank you, Art.
Thank you, brother Art.
Well, I'll say this,
brother.
Oh.
I'll say this. God damn it, until everybody else show up, I'm doing my part. Because this sister Chrystul right here, she needs help right now. And she's my family. Let's keep going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sister Anita, you're on WVON. Straight words. Go ahead, sister.
You guys might have to excuse me because these kind of things is very, I feel like a volcano, an earthquake, and every kind of storm all at once right now. And it's too much information that I can even handle on a conscious level to think about babies and things happening to them. And my family taught me as a young girl, I'm 6 years old, I go outside to play. They tell me, you don't play mother and father with the boys, or you don't play nurse or doctor and patient with the boy. I'm a girl. You do not sit on men's lap.
Right.
I'm a baby girl. I've been taught that. The thought of an old man putting his private in a young woman's mouth, that alone is going to drive me insane. And then there's a brother that calls. He said that he thinks he married a white woman. They divorced. His daughter grows up. She can't have babies. He says that they have a practice that if they didn't want the women to marry a black man, somebody in the white family rapes the girl so that she's no longer able to have children. So he thinks this is why, but his daughter can't have children, but no one ever told him. His name is Frank. He calls in. Wow. He told Reverend Elvis on the phone. And I called him immediately to find out. You know, people don't want to talk about that because, you know, killing is on the list. Elijah Muhammad was so important. You guys just don't know. This white man, he is gay and strange. Because why would you need another man to constantly take care of you? Why do they need the black man and all these men coming here? Now it's the Mexicans they got in here to help them take care of something they never take care of. They never take care of their family. They use other men. So that's strange in itself. That's what a woman does. She will have a man, and she has babies. This man can't have babies, so why does he need a man to take care of him? This is strange. I'm trying to get to the Christians, and they just ain't waking up. I don't know what the heck is wrong with them. But anyway, this DNC that was just had, Harold Washington's name was not mentioned. He did a lot for the justice for black men when the black police officers and things were putting electrodes on black men's private areas to make them confess. And I don't know if it was in Chicago where they put the plunger. I mean, it's something wrong with this man.
Yeah.
And I can't sit here and act like Elijah Muhammad. So I told Reverend Al yesterday on the phone, I said, Reverend Al, I said, Elijah Muhammad was a man. He wanted a family. He has had dealings with the men in the Middle East without killing, stealing, bombing, and polluting. I said, why is it that other people can't get along with someone without killing, stealing, bombing, and polluting, and you know all the other filth that they go along with, that what they do. I don't care what religious house you're talking about, pre-Islamic days. They all sit and give quiet nods to this filth that's going on, and nothing is being done about it. And Elijah Muhammad made that masculine decision to work with the Middle East and do all the things he did to help get his people taken care of, and they fought him tooth and nail, and now they're fighting for the things that Elijah Muhammad was working for without stealing and bombing and killing, and got a whole world stage on it at the DNC. And Harold Washington's name wasn't mentioned. I'm just mad. I can't do this. You guys gotta please call me for anything, and don't forget what my family taught me. I don't sit on men's lap when I'm a little girl. I'm talking about 3, 4. I don't sit on men's lap, and I don't play with little boys outside playing like in certain situations, because we were taught not to. You know, we wasn't scared of men, and we didn't, I'm not afraid of men, but I'm not into men misusing me, because when I have a baby, I'm going to kill you using my body or any of my children's body or grandchildren's body without their permission. That's why it is the consent, because you're using someone's everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sister. Thank you so much, Sister. We are right at the top of the hour. And we got to close out with Brother Sean real quick. Brother Sean, give out your information again, brother. People can contact you with the Asha Project.
Yes, sir. So, Asha Project, you can reach me at going through our website, AshaFamilyServices.org, and you can also call directly and ask for me as well at 414-252-0075.
All right, beloved. Thank you so much, brother. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. All right, brothers and sisters. We got the third hour coming up of Straight Words. Go to our website, straightwords.com, straightwords.com. Find out how you can support us. We're going to be back next hour to talk about the DNC from last week. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. Brother James G is going to give you a report coming up on Straight Words on WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.